Big East Baseball doubleheader. Thank you for joining us. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Brendan King will have the majority of this broadcast for you, but happy to get us started as the Bulldogs look to get a split of day number 2. Both these teams trying to play their way back into contention for the upcoming Big East Baseball Conference tournament that takes place down in Mason, Ohio at Prasco Field coming up over Memorial Day weekend. Let's give you the lineup for the Red Storm of St. John's. Couple of changes towards the back end of the lineup, but the first 6 hitters all remain the same from the earlier victory. Carson Bartell at second base will lead things off. Ryan Hogan, the center fielder, will bat second. Brian Morrell, the left fielder, bats third. Justin Foles, the first baseman, bats cleanup. Nick Sorelli is the DH. He will bat fifth. Marty Higgins is the third baseman. Batting sixth, Colin Wetterow is the catcher. Hinshaw had that responsibility in game number 1. Vincent Bianchi gets the start in right field, and Chris Conniff will be the shortstop in the second game for St. John's. The pitcher they'll be facing will be Jack Myers. Myers is 3-4 on the season. This is his 10th appearance. They have all been starts. He has gone the distance one time. His ERA is just north of 5 at 5.05. 51 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 29 earned runs. He has walked 16. He has struck out 42. Defensively behind Myers for this game, Gargano is in left, Margroff in center, and Dan Harwood is the right fielder. Freddie Matos is at third base. Jonah Wickman is the shortstop. Bernie McGrath is at second base. Andy Bennett is the first baseman. And getting the nod is Aaron Steinhardt as the starting catcher for this game for the Bulldogs. So Bartels will lead things off. Bartels now batting .295 on the season. He had 3 singles and a run scored in 5 at-bats in the earlier contest. 4 official plate appearances as he reached on a bases on balls as well. Myers curveball in for a strike. By the way, Shannon Bunger is our home plate umpire for this one. Kevin Conder will handle all the action down the first base bag, and Craig McCarty, who was behind home plate for the first game, is now the third base umpire. And this tapper, Wickman will charge, flip, fire, and arm is still in fine fashion after made a couple of similar plays in the first game. There's one down. For Wickman, this is his first start of the season. This is the 5th game in which he has appeared. Hogan looking to bunt his way on for a base hit. Myers on the mound, a senior from Cathedral. Fastball just misses. 1-1 the count. Hogan doubled and scored in the first inning of the opening game. Singled and scored in the third inning. Walked, struck out, and had a ground ball out. So he was officially 2 for 4. This one is going to tail foul. And the count at 1-2. And for those of you watching from outside of the Indianapolis area today, it is a beautiful day. Temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. We are playing 2 today and playing 2 tomorrow because the original weather forecast for the weekend had a possibility of rain tomorrow, a likelihood of rain on Sunday. That has since changed. That is a foul ball as Matos gives chase on the left-hand side of the bag. Now it looks like the rain may hold off until Monday, but what's done is done. These two teams will play twice today and twice tomorrow and should be able to easily complete a 4-game set, which is something the Bulldogs have not had the luxury of doing for a while. That one misses outside, 2-2 the count. Butler used 3 pitchers in the 7-inning game that preceded this one. Count runs full at 3-2. Mondak went 6 of the 7 innings, with LaJoy throwing the 7th for the Red Storm. And this one roped but foul. Myers on the mound, part of a Cathedral State Championship in 2017. Strike three called, and Hogan just nods his head as he walks by. Pitcher's pitch there. Paint in the corner on the full count, and there's two down.
Left fielder 23, Brian Morrow.
For Myers, his 43rd strikeout of the year. He's averaging just shy of one of those per inning. Here's Brian Morrow. Transfer from Notre Dame. Spent time as both a position player and a pitcher during his college days, and that's in for a strike. Morrow went 1 for 4 with a walk in the first game of the day. And the count is 0-2. Morrow, a redshirt junior from Shoreham, New York. And chase that one, and Myers gets back-to-back Ks to end the top half of the first. So St. John's goes down in order in their half of the first. The Bulldogs come to bat when we come back, as you're watching Butler University baseball. So on to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's bring you the batting lineup for Coach Raig's Butler Bulldogs. Gargano will lead things off, followed by Aaron Steinhardt. Dan Harwood will bat third. He is the right fielder in this game after playing first base in the previous contest. Freddie Matos, the third baseman, will bat cleanup. Andy Bennett gets the nod in this one at first base, batting fifth. Brody McGrath is the second baseman, batting sixth. Robbie McCarger, the DH, will bat seventh. Jacob Margroff, the center fielder, will bat eighth, and Jonah Wickman, the shortstop, will bat ninth. On the mound, they'll face Ian Murphy for St. John's. Murphy, a 3.98 ERA on the season. He is 2-3. He has made 9 appearances. All but one of those has been as a starter. He's not gone too far deep into games. He has thrown 31 2/3 innings on the season. He's allowed 14 earned runs. He has walked 20 and struck out 35, and opposing batters hitting .216 against Murphy on the season. He is from Swedesboro, New Jersey. He played at Gloucester Catholic High School, which is a great high school baseball program in South Jersey, tied in with a multiple-time American Legion World Series championship program in the Brooklawn Legion program. So Gargano will lead things off for Butler. Gargano reached base twice in the previous game. One was by way of a walk. The other was because of an error. So officially 0 for 3 in the open of the doubleheader. Had a stolen base as well. First pitch fastball a bit high. And the count at 1-0. Outfield straight away here for the leadoff man. Gargano 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. This one popped foul. Gargano getting his 30th start of the season. He's played in every game but one for the Bulldogs. This is game 35 for the Red Storm, 31 for Butler. St. John's overall record 16-18, 7-13 in Big East play. Butler 10-20 and 4-10 in conference action. This one misses inside. Count now 3-1. sky-high pop-up that'll land somewhere behind us. Count now 3-2. Ground ball turns foul. So Gargano doing a good job of extending this opening at bat of the game for the Bulldogs. And ball 4. So leadoff man is aboard. By the way, the defensive alignment for St. John's behind the pitcher in Murphy. Morrill, Hogan, Bianchi in the outfield. Higgins, Conniff, Bartels, and Foles in the infield. Again, Wetterow behind home plate and Murphy on the mound. So this is Aaron Steinhardt that steps to the plate. And Aaron, one of the top hitters for this Butler team, but as the catcher, we did not see him in the opener. Hewitt got the nod as the starter in game number 1. Showing bunt immediately and then pulls it back. Watches that fly by for a strike. Steinhardt is from Jupiter, Florida. That's where like golfers are from, isn't it? Look, when you hear guys announce like at a PGA Tour event, half the times they say Jupiter, Florida. Now, clearly baseball is his thing, and he does it well. 4 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Gargano. Swing and a miss. Gargano at first base, had a stolen base in the previous game. He's got 6 on the season. Steinhardt batting .261. This is his 25th start of the year. Able to lay off that one 1-2. With 2 strikes, Steinhardt has moved his hands up the bat by a good inch or so to able to turn on that thing quicker. Count now 2-2. If you were not with us for game number 1, we've given you the score. And make no mistake about it, St. John's controlled from the early going. Their first 3 batters reached. 2 of those guys would score. So this game was tied for all of a batter in game number 1. But Butler put runners on the base pass. They just could not get them over. Bulldogs would strand 10 runners. And especially innings 2, 3, and 4 had multiple chances to move runners in from scoring positions and couldn't get the job done when it was a 3-0 game. Count runs full now at 3-2. Runner goes. Steinhardt to swing and foul ball, so Gargano will do an about face and head back to first. This is Steinhardt's first year in the Butler program. Quick toss back to Gargano. Steinhardt began his career in Florida playing at Stetson and then transferred to a junior college last year. And like a lot of players, he is a year older than his classification is listed after last season was wiped away. This one smacked to left field for a base hit. Hit and run, and Gargano hustling all the way to third base. And probably a better throw has him. Was not a great offering from the left fielder in Morrill. And with that, Gargano's hustle is rewarded. He'll go from first to third on the single by Steinhardt.
With runners on the corners for your Bulldogs, the right fielder, 41, Dan Harwood.
So Dan Harwood comes up with runners in scoring position. Harwood went 0 for 3 with a walk in the previous game. Harwood batting .333 on the season. The former Division III All-American that began his playing days at the College of Worcester. 5 home runs and 23 runs batted in. And smacks this one, double play. Hardest contact he's made all day and leads to 2 outs and just kind of a glance back behind the backstop. What are you going to do? There's nothing Steinhardt can do about that either.
Ready.
Good news is for Gargano, he hung around the bag at third. That could have easily been a triple play. Instead, in the blink of an eye, there's 2 gone. Here's Freddie Matos. Matos reached twice, but never had the benefit of a base hit in the opening game. Bulldogs had just 3. Matos reached on an error and a fielder's choice. And Freddie lays off that offering. 1-0 the count. Freddie from Davie, Florida. Could not catch up with a fastball from Murphy, and count now goes to 1-1. Two and 1 now. Matos on the season, 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Matos has appeared in every game but 1 this year for the Bulldogs. And started all but 2. Off the hands, could be trouble. Shortstop charges. Fields fires. Got him. Great job by the first baseman to stay on the bag, and that ends the threat for the Butler Bulldogs. Brendan King will take you the rest of the way for this one. We are scoreless after 1 as we are playing 9 in game number 2 at Bulldog Park. It's St. John's and Butler. Back after this as you're watching Butler University baseball.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow.
Leading off the top of the second inning for the Red Storm, first baseman 25, Justin Foles.
Brendan King with you from Bulldog Park as the Butler Bulldogs take on the St. John's Red Storm. Thanks to Greg Rakestraw for sticking around for Game 2 of the doubleheaders. We play 9 innings. Just got done on the Dan Dockett Show, 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan in Town. Quick drive over to Bulldog Park, and we get you caught up in a scoreless game between the Red Storm and the Bulldogs here on this beautiful Friday in Indianapolis. It's Justin Foles leading off the top of the second inning. A productive and efficient first frame for the big, tall Jack Myers. As quickly 2 strikes on Justin Foles, the power-hitting lefty for the Red Storm. Righty to lefty. Myers looks in from the line and delivers to Foles, and that's a little outside. 9-0 the final in Game 1 of the doubleheader as the Bulldogs try and fight for ground in the Big East, trying to get caught up towards the top 4. They're going to need series wins in their next 2. That's a little blooper past the diving shortstop for the Bulldogs, as reaching is Justin Foles. Jonah Wichman took a dive and a solid crack at it, but it's a base knock for Foles, their first base runner here in Game 2, as Nick Sorelli, the designated hitter, steps up. So Butler able to get a couple aboard in their half of the first inning, but St. John's, sometimes the baseball gods just help you out, and that was the case in that 3 unassisted double play, as that's buried in the dirt and blocked away. Nick Sorelli followed by Marty Higgins. Colin Wetterow is in the hole. Back-to-back lefties to face Myers here in the second, as that just missed. Butler plays the third baseman Matos in middle infield at double play depth for the Dogs. Both teams with a hit apiece to start this one. Scoreless game, second inning. Myers from the stretch. Solid lead off of first, and that misses high. It's 3-0 on Nick Sorelli. Now a very short lead off of first for Justin Foles. Let's see if Sorelli might have the green light. No way. He takes it for a strike. It's 3-1. Wind really not a factor at Bulldog Park to start this one. The American flag in center. Just a gentle breeze. Again, maybe the best day of the week for baseball so far, and part of the reason why they're playing the doubleheader. Rain expected Sunday. Quick throw by Myers, and diving in head first was Foles. Myers, the tall right-hander, fires. A good cut on 3-1, but that's popped away. Matos gave it a look towards the track. And now it's a full count on Nick Sorelli. Sorelli in game 1, 1 for 4, but he drove in 2 runs. He was responsible, though, for 4 men left on base. Each team leaving 9 and 10 men on base, respectively. A big 3-2 from Myers with the runner moving. That's inside. Thought it might have hit Sorelli briefly there, but it traveled to the backstop. And now first and second, nobody out. So after a 1-2-3 quick frame for Myers in the top of the first, St. John's is threatening with the third baseman Marty Higgins due up. And now after back-to-back matchups with left-handed batters, Myers will face another righty. Marty Higgins, he crowds that plate. Slightly open stance with the bat waving over the helmet. Now he's showing bunt. Corner infielders prepare to charge in, and Myers will fake towards second, where Justin Foles stands and ultimately went back to the base. Nobody out. Scoreless game in the top of the second inning. St. John's threatening after they won game 1 of the doubleheader, 9-0. St. John's now 16-18 on the year as Higgins takes a strike. That was their 7th Big East win and just their 4th win on the road. Have to imagine, too, early on in the season in Queens, not exactly baseball weather. They have to be loving this today. Corner infielder still in for Butler, with Matos at third and Bennett over at first. Still a chance of the double play ball with the force anywhere except for home. And that wide open stance for Higgins, and he shows bunt once more. It's 0-1. And he continues to show it. And he bunts it foul, now 0-2. So Myers came back with some heat. Higgins unable to bunt it into fair territory. And now we'll see what the Red Storm have planned with an 0-2 count and 2 men aboard. It's Colin Wetterow, the catcher, on deck. Myers briefly looks back at second. Middle infielders creep in. The delivery to Higgins misses high. It's 1-2. Did not show bunt at all that time. As no new signs given by St. John's for the next sequence. Mike Hampton, the head coach at St. John's, spent 18 years with the prior head coach Ed Blankmeyer, and that's pounded foul. Blankmeyer is now the manager of the Brooklyn Cyclones, which is, or at least used to be, a short season minor league baseball team until the overhaul of MILB baseball over last winter. And in Hampton, who had been around this program for a long time, as that's dribbled towards third. Matos will step on the bag. Crossfield throw. It airmails everybody, and it goes to the sidewall. So the out at third is made. Call that a 5 unassisted fielder's choice. And because of the throwing error by Matos, advancing to second goes Higgins. At third now is Sorelli.
34, the catcher, Colin Wetterow.
So Higgins, who was showing bunt in the first two pitches of that sequence, able to find a way on, and St. John's in this scoreless game has a chance to break it open once more. Justin Foles was out at third. It's Sorelli at third, Higgins at second for the left-handed hitting catcher Colin Wetterow. That's popped up foul and will drift out of play. Wetterow did not play in game one. How about Nick Mondak for the Red Storm? 6 innings of scoreless baseball. 3 hits, a walk, 10 Ks. Josh LaJoy got the final 3 outs as, again, game one was 7 innings. We're playing 9 here in game 2. Big bouncer foul. Winds up towards the same position along the left side. One away here in the top of the second. As it's 0-2. Wetterow, the lefty, digs back in. Vincent Bianchi is on deck. Here's the 0-2 from Myers. That's in the dirt. Blocked nicely to prevent the runner at third and Sorelli from trotting home. It's 1-2. Scoreless game, second inning. Righty to lefty. The sun now peeking out everywhere on the diamond. The pitch from Myers. High and inside. Wetterow really didn't back off the plate either. Some sweet searing music, and he wasn't phased. And doubleheader tomorrow, too. Nick Eaton and John McCauley for the Bulldogs. Going against Brian Hendry and a talented freshman, Tyler Roach. Tapped foul towards the St. John's dugout. And it's 2-2 as Myers continues to battle. And with no force other than first base right now, depending on how Myers does in this inning, if St. John's can ramp up that pitch count, they can possibly force Dave Schrag to go to his bullpen early. 2-2. Infield in on the left side. Pitch from Myers, a changeup that's hammered through the hole, right side, and St. John's will get on the board. Scoring is Sorelli. It's an RBI single for Colin Wetterow. And St. John's continues to have the lead in this doubleheader. It's 1-0. Just snuck it through the hole.
The right fielder, number 5, Vincent Bianchi.
Past the diving second baseman, Brady McGrath. And Vincent Bianchi will get a turn now with runners at the corners, 1 away. Every runner in the inning has been aboard. The only out, the force at third that was created by Matos stepping on the bag. Matos plays in at third with a chance at a double play as that's slightly tapped foul towards the Dogs' dugout. It's 0-1. Bianchi also seeing his first action of the afternoon. Chris Conniff, a lefty on deck, as Myers continues to grind out this frame. It's 0-1. Short lead off of first for Wetterow. Through the middle, past the diving shortstop for the Dogs and Wichman, and another run for St. John's. It's 2-0.
Shortstop, 18, Chris Conniff.
So give an RBI single to Vincent Bianchi. Marty Higgins traveled home to score. It's now Wetterow at second. Bianchi at first, still one away. As this inning, completely a turn from what happened in the first for Jack Myers. He works from the stretch off the first base side of the rubber, force at any bag except for home as that misses outside to Chris Conniff. Carson Bartles is on deck, who grounded out to the shortstop Wickman in the first. And Bartles, a nice game one. He went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, along with a walk. And 2-0 on Chris Conniff. Righty to lefty. Conniff hits a big bouncer towards first. Fielding is Bennett. The underhand flip to Myers, covering the bag. And if the inning could have gotten better for St. John's, it just did. They use a productive out to get both runners advancing 90 feet. It's Wetterow at third, and now Bianchi at second.
Bartels.
That play goes 3-1, and back to the top of the order as Carson Bartels steps in. First base unoccupied. 2 runners in scoring position for Bartels, who drove in 4 runs again in game 1 of the Twin Bill. Matos in at third. There's a big bender from Myers that drops in for a strike. I think if you're Butler and Dave Schrag right now, you just need to get out of this frame with the damage done and make sure St. John's cannot take any more momentum as they did in game 1. And the dirt blocked away. Bartels laid off. It's 1-1.
Good work, Aaron. Good work. Good pitch. Go get him. Attack. 2 outs up.
Outfield straight away for Bartels. Slightly open stance as he waves the bat in front of him with the red and black batting gloves. Right-hander to right-hander. The pitch from Myers. There's a fastball and a tapper towards third. Matos takes his time. Strong throw to first, and that's the frame. But St. John's breaks it open yet again. A 2-run top of the second as Nick Sorelli and Marty Higgins come home to score 3 base hits and air along with the fielder's choice. Bring in the runs. 2-0 as the Butler Bulldogs coming up in their half of the second as you're listening to Butler Bulldog Baseball on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Balls may enter the stands. Also, Bulldog Park is a tobacco-free facility. Smoking is not permitted inside the park. And finally, restrooms are located on the ground floor of the press box. Additional restrooms are available inside Hinkle Fieldhouse.
Yeah, that was cool. Unexpected. I don't think anybody can do what you do. No. Yeah. But that's a good guess. Good. I appreciate you guys having me back.
Leading off the home half of the second inning for your Bulldogs, the first baseman, number 3, Andy Bennett.
Butler Bulldogs with some work to do as we head to the bottom of the second inning from Bulldog Park on a beautiful Friday. Doubleheader action against the St. John's Red Storm. It's Brendan King with you on ButlerSports.com and YouTube. Andy Bennett, the first baseman, leads things off for Butler. After the Dogs look to be putting together something in that bottom half of the first inning, James Gargano walked. Aaron Steinhardt singled, but then a killer, a 3 unassisted double play, kind of took the air out of that inning. So now it's 1-1 on Andy Bennett. And Butler went scoreless, looking for their first run of the twin bill as the wind picks up to start the bottom of the second. Softly breezing from center towards left. Ian Murphy, the right-hander for St. John's, back to the hill, working off the first base side of the rubber. Right-hander to left-hander. And nailed straight back. 2-2. Bennett, McGrath, and McCarger here in the bottom of the second inning for Butler. That stays high to Bennett. As again, Butler able to get out of the top of the second with limited enough damage. It's 2-0. Sorelli and Higgins scored. That's pounded away foul. It's 3-2 on Bennett. Again, for St. John's in that inning, wasn't necessarily huge big-time hits. Small ball, singles, walks, getting runners over. Line straight back again, 3-2. Bennett grounds foul. It stays full.
Line driver walk. What do you say, 3?
Another 3-2 for Ian Murphy. Way outside, ball 4. And for the second consecutive frame, Butler will reach on a leadoff walk.
Brody McGrath.
And Brody McGrath steps in, the Butler second baseman. Right-hander to right-hander. McGrath bends the knees in his stance. And that's pounded but caught at second base. Throw goes straight back to first, but thankfully, Andy Bennett is looking straight towards the play and dove back in that white Butler uniform, now covered in infield dirt. McGrath hits it hard, but it goes down as an out. As Robbie McCarter steps in. McCarter, the designated hitter, and he didn't mean to get a piece of that one, but lined it foul. 2-0 St. John's early. Dave Schrag over at third. New set of signs. Off of first is Andy Bennett. Middle infield for St. John's plays at double play depth as Murphy works from the stretch. That's low. Murphy's windup and stretch don't really differ a whole lot. Now, of course, he does have the wind-up motion, but when he works from the wind-up, it's a quick step back. And that really small leg kick. See that more and more with guys that, whether it's professional baseball or college baseball, pitching coaches, managers, whoever, trying to kind of shorten a player's wind-up, shorten their stretch, Focus on the mechanics. Easy to repeat. It's the big thing, is that swung on and missed by McCarger. Especially with high-end prospects. A lot of times, college programs, guys drafted in the first couple rounds of the Major League Baseball draft, you may see sometimes their wind-up, their stretches have a lot of moving parts. And when they get to this level where they get older, or that swung on and missed again on a heater, strike 3. Murphy fires back with a K. 2 away in the bottom of the second. It's a scoreless game.
Jacob Margraf.
Again, Murphy's stretch there especially, that is very, very easy to repeat. That'll help him as he gets older and more experienced. Jacob Margraf checks his swing. He went around. It's 0-1.
What do you think, 12? Lots of room third base, huh?
Margraf, the lefty, takes strike 2. So efficient work by Ian Murphy after the leadoff free pass. Now he got the hard contact off the Brady McGrath line out to the second baseman Bartels. Then the strikeout of McCarger, and now it's 0-2. That's right down the middle, called strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Ian Murphy to close the bottom of the second. It's 2-0 St. John's with the lead here in this Big East matchup from Bulldog Park as you're watching live, ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Leading off inning number 3 for the Red Storm, center fielder number 6, Ryan Hogan.
Big East baseball from Bulldog Park on the campus of Butler University. Ryan Hogan scoops one in the right field, moving back for the Bulldogs. And it's going to be a hard one, and he makes the catch moving towards the track. That just continued to carry, although the wind really not a factor this afternoon, as mentioned. Just a gentle breeze here and there.
Brian Morrow.
But Harwood able to work back, make the grab, and one away to start the top of the third inning as St. John's leads 2-0. 2 runs off of Jack Myers in the top half of the second. And hopefully that quick out can help Myers settle in a little bit, just like he did in the first. He worked a 1-2-3 frame with a pair of strikeouts, one looking, one swinging. This is Brian Morrell at the dish. What a year and career he has had in the St. John's program. Started his career at Notre Dame, found his way to Queens. It's 0-1. Third baseman Matos plays in. Wind up and the deal for Myers. Just a little low. Tapped foul by Morrell. So the Johnnies, again, took game 1 9-0. Coming into this one, they had lost 7 of their last 10. So St. John's, who is now 16-18, trying to find a way into the Big East tournament themselves. And they've had an interesting year. Here's the 2-2. Just foul tipped at the plate. Steinhardt just couldn't hold on to it. Would have been strike 3 as Morrell struck out swinging to end the first inning. Justin Foles, the big first baseman, on deck. Close stance for Morrell. He digs back in for a 2-2 as here it is for Myers. Slider away. That was nasty, though, as it tailed towards the left-handed batter's box. Just couldn't get Morrell to chase, and it's 3-2. And the payoff pitch. A little pop-up towards foul territory on the first base side. Over is Bennett, who makes the grab. Maybe about 20 or so feet outside the first base coach's box.
25.
And 2 away in the third inning. And if you're Dave Schrag, you have to be happy here. If Jack Myers can find a way to have a 1-2-3 frame here in the third. He had to use a lot of bullets in that second inning. And we're playing 9 here in game 2 of the Twin Bill. That's popped up, but will reach out of play. Off the bat of Justin Foles, who singled in the second inning to get that rally started. He was the victim of a 5 unassisted. As the third baseman, Mato, stepped on the bag, tried to complete a double play just outside from Myers. And a big part of why St. John's went on to score a couple in that second. Matos made the good play stepping on the bag at third, but then airmailed everybody at first on what could have been a 5-3 twin killing. That's outside. Last 2 have looked good from Myers, but it's 2-1 with 2 away, nobody on, and a 2-0 game here in the top of the third. The 2-1. That was way out of the zone, but Myers says thank you as Foles went fishing for that one. The 2-2 from Myers, big curveball, line foul off of the Bulldog dugout. Deuces wild on the scoreboard, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. To Justin Foles, if he were to reach, Nick Sorelli is on deck, who walked and scored back in the second. Another 2-2. Fastball in on the hands, he got him, but grounding away foul was Foles. Righty to lefty, another 2-2 on the way from the big, tall Jack Myers. Change up that time, and a slow bouncer right side. Going to be a tough play as Bennett throws to first. Myers beats him to the bag. Nice play by Bennett, the first baseman, who backhanded it nicely. And then got the throw over to Jack Myers, who stepped on the bag and beat Justin Foles by a half step. For the second time in 3 innings, the St. John's Red Storm go down 1-2-3. It's 2-0. Johnny's lead. Head to the bottom of the third on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Leading up the Butler half of the third inning, shortstop number 8, Jonah Wakeman.
Jonah Wickman leads off the bottom half of the third for the Butler Bulldogs here from Bulldog Park on a bright sunny day. On the campus of Butler University, it's 2-0 St. John's leading Butler in this Big East clash as Wickman takes a strike. That caught the outside corner. Wickman, the shortstop, gets his first AB of game 2. Came in for one at-bat in game 1 where he struck out. And quickly, 2 strikes on Wickman. Gargano and Steinhardt will also bat in the inning. Butler down 2. Ian Murphy, efficient as ever. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And mark that 3 consecutive strikeouts for Murphy, the right-hander from St. John's. The redshirt sophomore, Swedesboro, New Jersey. And a big guy, too. 6'4", 225 he's listed as. Here's the leadoff man, James Gargano, who takes strike 1. Right-hander to right-hander, and Murphy starting to work very quickly. That high heater misses for a ball. It's 1-1. Way inside on Gargano, 2-1. Or did it hit him? It did. It caught Gargano, so he will reach for the second time in 2 plate appearances. Walked back in the first, and now just grazed by that fastball from Murphy. And St. John's wants to have a word. Now, at first, I don't think that looked like it hit him, but the umpire, obviously, with a better view than us. And are they going to discuss now? Well, the thing is, when you discuss with the base umpires on a hit by pitch, not sure if they have a better view. They probably don't. But for now, Gargano will reach on the hit by pitch, and we'll see how much there is to discuss. You know, Murphy on the mound was adamant that he didn't think it hit him. Aaron Steinhardt waits for his AB. And they will keep Gargano over at first. So, kind of what you figure when there's a meeting of the umpires on a HBP. Steinhardt singled in the first, but was that victim of the 3 unassisted double play that was turned nicely by the Johnnies and their first baseman, Justin Foles. Trip to the mound as Murphy having a discussion with the catcher, Wetterau. Aaron Steinhardt, 261 on the year. He has hit 4 home runs. Good for second on the team. Dan Harwood, James Gargano, and Robbie McCarter all tied for the lead with 5. And now we're all set to go. 1 away. It's a 2-0 Johnny's lead in the bottom of the third. 3 hits for St. John's, 1 for Butler. And the Dogs have not been able to score despite a leadoff walk to start the prior 2 innings. A man at first after the hit by pitch of Gargano. Righty to lefty, Murphy's ready, and that fastball zings in for a strike. It's 0-1. Murphy last worked on May 9th, an inning and a third of 1-run ball against UConn. It was a no decision. Last decision was against Seton Hall, April 24th, also an inning and a third, but he took the loss even though he allowed 1 run. As that hit Steinhardt. And confusion on both sides. So Steinhardt was jogging to first. Dave Schrag having a word. So some confusion as I think St. John's was vouching for a foul tip. Steinhardt thought it hit him. Dave Schrag just mentioning that he wants to be on the same page.
You need it.
And Steinhardt still pleading his case at the plate. If it is a foul tip, it would be an 0-2 count.
How's that a strike if it was in the batter's box?
So what could have been back-to-back HBPs ends up being a foul tip on Aaron Steinhardt. Off of first Gargano. And it's 0-2. Steinhardt has to choke up, and he bends those knees against Murphy as he delivers. Way high on a fastball. And the Bronx cheer at Bulldog Park. 2-0 St. John's. Force at second with one away. The pitch from Murphy. Emergency swing by Steinhardt, although that looked like it may have missed outside. Can never be too careful. Dan Harwood stands on deck. And Freddie Matos would be next up. St. John's also shifts the outfield against the lefty Steinhardt. The center fielder Hogan slightly in left center, and a big hole in the right center field gap. Pounded away by Steinhardt as he stays alive. It's 3-2. New set of signs from Dave Schrag along the third base line. Runner moving. That's outside. Throw to second is late. And sliding in safely is James Gargano with the stolen base. It's a 2-2 count, I beg your pardon, on Aaron Steinhardt. So a man in scoring position for Butler. The tying run is at the plate. Well, you can really change the complexion of this game if Steinhardt can just pound one into the outfield in right center. That allows you to bring Dan Harwood up. It was tied for the Butler lead with 23 ribbies. You can see Steinhardt continues to choke up on that bat and rests it on the left shoulder. Another one from Murphy, lined away. Good AB from Aaron Steinhardt, no matter what happens here. You're forcing Murphy to use some bullets when before that hit by pitch of Gargano, and then what happened with Steinhardt, whether that was a hit by pitch or a foul tip, he had struck out 3 in a row. Guerrero, the catcher, sets up inside on Steinhardt. And that's right down the middle for called strike 3. Fooled him. Obviously not what Aaron was looking for. Called it a backwards K if you're keeping score at home. And Ian Murphy has struck out 4 of the last 5 Butler hitters, and it's up to Dan Harwood with the man in score. Two away with the shortstop Conniff playing right behind the runner. Gargano in his pocket at second. And Murphy doesn't seem too concerned about Gargano. Murphy has looked about as locked in as he had all afternoon. After he punched out Margrove to end the second inning and then got Wickman to start the third. And it's 2-0 on Dan Harwood. Center fielder Hogan now back to his normal spot. That right center field gap has closed up. The 2-0. Way high. 3-0. So possibly an opportunity for Freddie Matos if Harwood can reach. The 3-0 and a 4-pitch walk to Harwood. So for the second time today, Butler with 2 men aboard.
Freddie Matos.
And Freddie Matos an opportunity to drive them in. It was unclear to start the week if Matos would be able to play in this series, but he is in the cleanup spot for Dave Schrag. And this was the position that Matos hoped he would be in back in the first. There's that 3 unassisted double play I told you about. And Matos came up with nobody on. This time, 2 aboard. Third base is open. The lefty Matos digs in and takes strike 1. Two nothing St. John's in the third. Gentle breeze from center, sunshine all over the playing field. Here's the 0-1. That's pounded away again. With the zone today, you have to be careful. That looked like it was heading right towards the outside corner. And now with 0-2 on Matos. Need to be defensive at the plate, just like Aaron Steinhardt was. I thought Steinhardt had a great at-bat, though, regardless of striking out looking. He really made Murphy work. The 0-2. High and inside, almost clipped him. A ball and 2 strikes on Freddie Matos. Andy Bennett, the first baseman, stands on deck. And Murphy trying to strike out 5 of 7 hitters here if he can nab Matos. Big hole along the left side with the shortstop Conniff in Gargano's pocket. That's a ball away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. Butler trying to get on the board for the first time this afternoon in this twin bill. You talk about the strikeout numbers for Murphy. He punched out 11 Xavier Musketeers back on April the 10th in 7 innings of work. 2-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. And Ian Murphy also just gave a little jab back to the Butler dugout. 5 of 7 hitters he has punched out. And the Johnnies maintain the 2-0 lead after 3 innings. You're watching Butler Bulldog Baseball, ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
For St. John's, designated hitter 35, Nick Torelli.
Not an easy task for Jack Myers as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Ian Murphy has 5 strikeouts. Now Myers has pitched nicely. He's worked 2 of 3 innings, 1-2-3 style. But the Dogs trail 2-0 as we enter the top of the 4th inning. A ground ball towards Andy Bennett. And how the 3rd inning ended, Bennett was forced to hurry up and get a throw over to Jack Myers for a 3-1 putout. That time, he took it to the bag himself. Nick Sorelli is out on 1 pitch on a 3 unassisted. So Butler able to stop St. John's' rally back in the 2nd, only allowing them to get 2 runs when they certainly could have had more. 1 pitch, 1 out for Myers, and there's a bullet strike to Marty Higgins. Higgins reached on an error back in the 2nd inning, ultimately scored. That's tapped foul at home plate. So we'll see if Myers can settle in, because Murphy sure is. And a little bit of stretching down the right field line now for St. John's in their bullpen. Nobody is throwing. Murphy has worked as a starter and reliever this year, so it's kind of up to the Johnnies of what they want to do, as that's pounded through the hole on the left side for a base hit for Higgins. He's on for a second time. As mentioned, kind of depends for St. John's as we're getting towards the back end of this season. The Johnnies starting to hopefully prepare for the Big East tournament in their eyes. Do they want to save a guy like Murphy for some big games down the stretch here? Again, we'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. 2-0 Johnnies. At the dish is Colin Wetterow, the catcher. He shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike one as Freddie Matos, the third baseman, was darting in preparation of the sacrifice. And this has been St. John's mentality so far. They've hit the ball hard, but only singles and walks for the Johnnies. Small ball. That time he's swinging. He pounds it towards shallow center. That'll drop for a base hit in front of Margroff. Advancing to third easily is Higgins. It's a single for Wetterow, so he goes from potentially bunting to lofting that one towards center. Now it's runners at the corners, and that marks an end of 5 straight retired by Jack Myers.
Number 5, Vincent Bianchi.
Back-to-back singles for St. John's. And Vincent Bianchi, who drove in a run on a single of his own, back in the second, gets an opportunity at a couple more ribbies. 5th hit of the day for the Red Storm. Right-hander to right-hander. The tall righty Myers. That's a pop-up by Bianchi towards right field. It actually went a lot farther than I thought it would. Tagging from third is Higgins. He'll score easily. It's an RBI sac fly for Vincent Bianchi. At first, that looked like it was skied, maybe shallow right. It just continued to carry, though. And Vincent Bianchi has a pair of RBIs.
Chris Conish.
RBIs 6 and 7 of the year for Bianchi, who in 2019, out of high school, was a 35th round pick of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. That's fouled away by Chris Coniff.
Way to work ahead, Jack.
Still at first is Colin Wetterow. Coniff grounded out to the first baseman Bennett back in the second. And a force at second base with an 0-1 count. Jammed him. A little bouncer to first. Bennett bobbles, though, and he's going to have no play. What could have been an inning-ending ground out on a nice pitch by Myers. He completely jammed Coniff. And Steinhardt got exactly what he wanted. He was setting up inside. It's going to be an error on the first baseman, Bennett. Second error of the ball game for Butler. And both men at the corners have made it an infraction so far today.
Compete, go hard.
Wetterow jogged to second. Back to the top of the order with the dangerous Carson Bartels. Bartels, the team leader in RBIs. Earlier in a series against Georgetown, 2 home runs in 1 game. That misses down.
Be consistent.
Bartels, though, 0 for 2 to start the day. 6-3 ground out in the first. And he ended the inning in the second. But now an opportunity to stretch the St. John's lead. It's 3-0. The 1-1 inside on a curve that really never bended.
Stay on top. 1-1.
2-0 on Bartels. Ryan Hogan's on deck, as Myers tries to grind through the fourth. Fastball paints the corner for a strike, 2-1. So Myers 1-2-3 in the first, 2 runs allowed in the second, a 1-2-3 frame in the third, and now 1 has come across so far here in inning number 4. And any stretching that was happening in the St. John's pen has stopped, and it'll be Ian Murphy back out in the bottom of the fourth. A big bouncer towards short, took an interesting hop, but getting it to second baseman was Wickman, and McGrath on the bag gets the 6-4 fielder's choice. Bartels is 0 for 3, but St. John's leads Butler 3-0 after 3.5. You're watching Butler Baseball right here on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Live for now. Nike is proud to be the official equipment and apparel provider of Butler Athletics. Nike.com. Leading off the home half of the fourth inning for your Bulldogs, first baseman number 3, Andy Bennett.
The Butler Bulldogs down 3-0 heading to the bottom of the fourth inning from Bulldog Park. Heart of the lineup coming up for Dave Schrag's team, Andy Bennett, Brady McGrath, and Robbie McCarter. They'll try and get something started against the big, tall right-hander Ian Murphy, as that misses high to Andy Bennett. Murphy has struck out 5 of the last 7 he has faced and seems to be locked in, but again, you wonder what the pitch count is for him late in the season. Obviously a power pitcher, as that missed high again to Bennett's 2-0. We'll see what the Johnnies have in mind for how long he's going to go. Mike Hampton, the manager and head coach of St. John's. It's 3-0 to Bennett, who also walked in the second inning if he can earn a free pass here. That's right down the middle. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for St. John's to start. No runs, a hit, 2 errors for the Dogs today. Now it's 3-2 as Murphy fights back to get it full on the swing and a miss by Andy Bennett. He digs back in, and Murphy loves to work quickly, and that's called strike 3. It goes from 3-0 to a strikeout looking.
Number 2, Brody.
6 of 8 have gone down on strikes. Now Brady McGrath will try and get something started. He digs in way high. And a left-hander is working for the Johnnies in their pen. Seems to be no rush, though, for getting him going. 2-0. Jammed him. A little pop-up shot towards the left side of the infield. The third baseman and Higgins will handle it. And a lot of times you rarely see a pitcher try and go out to field a pop-up, but Murphy was very close to calling off Higgins. A lot of times you see pitchers just get the heck out of there. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. And it's up to Robbie McCarger. Three 0 St. John's, a little inside to McCarger. Who moved that right elbow down. He does not wear an elbow guard like many players do nowadays. With the white batting glove, shakes the bat on the left shoulder. 2-0, and interesting, Murphy has started each hitter of the inning 2-0. Bennett went down looking, and then the pop-up shot of McGrath, who was jammed aggressively, and that's foul-tipped into the glove of Wetterow. 2-1. Inside corner strike. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And right back to it, Murphy strikes out. McCarger swinging. 7 of 9. That Murphy finishes off with here in the fourth. Have struck out. The power pitcher for St. John's is cruising. It's 3-0. Johnny's with the lead. Heading to the fifth. This is Butler Baseball. ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
On top.
For the Red Storm to begin inning number 5, center fielder number 6, Brian Hogan.
Ryan Hogan leads off the top of the fifth inning against tall right-hander Jack Myers, and he takes strike one. 3-0 St. John's. 2 runs in the second, 1 in the fourth off of Myers. And in the innings, he has not allowed a run. They've been 1-2-3 frames. Let's see if he can set that pace again, as that breaker is lined to the screen. 0-2. First of 2 doubleheaders this weekend between the Johnnies and the Dogs. That's high and inside. 1-2. So 7 strikeouts for Ian Murphy. Nowhere close to his season high, though. That's tapped foul. His season debut against UMass Lowell, 6 innings of scoreless baseball, 8 Ks. As I told you, 11 strikeouts. But he took the loss against Xavier. How about that? A big bouncer towards third. Tough play on the short hop for Matos.
Keep rolling ground ball. Keep rolling ground ball.
And Hogan will reach.
23, left fielder. Brian.
That's a tough play. But the thing is, when you're a third baseman, you kind of commit to that short hop. There's no going back. So Hogan will reach on the air. Second miscue of the game by Matos, and third total for Butler. Now Brian Morrell, but first to check on the runner. Hogan at first. Brian Morrell at one point in Big East play was hitting a team-high .393. Also a former Major League Baseball draft pick out of high school. 35th round in 2017 by the Phillies. That was a solid draft for the Phillies. They had the 7th overall pick that year. So here's the pitch to Morrell. A big breaker that's popped up towards foul territory on the left side. Give me a tough play as tracking it down is going to be the shortstop Wickman in the sun. And Morrell is the victim of a pop-out. But the Phillies had a really nice draft that year. They chose Adam Hazley, Virginia Cavalier, and is now their starting center fielder. One out in the 5th inning. Here's Justin Foles, the first baseman. Hogan still at first after Morrell popped out. An opportunity and an inning-ending double play. Instead, Myers jammed him, and Wickman again. 2 away. Back-to-back pop-outs, and Myers will certainly take it. 2 away, it's 3-0 St. John's, and Nick Sorelli, who currently has the game-winning run on his stat line, will bat with 2 away. Big lead off of first for Hogan. Not moving. Pitch to Sorelli, right down the middle for a strike. Everybody at their normal spots to face the big lefty Sorelli. Goes with the stirrups look. And that hit him.
If I went and hit a guy in the left-hand batter's box, it was a strike.
So a couple aboard now for Marty Higgins, who has ended up having a nice day. Reached on an error in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, also scored 2 runs. Butler trying to keep this thing in reach. They trail 3-0. A long way to go, though. We played 7 innings in Game 1. This is a 9-inning ball game here in Game 2 of the Twin Bill, if you're just joining us from Bulldog Park. A dribbler wide of third for strike 1. Higgins' bat, that bat is about as big of a barrel, I think, as you'll see. The way it's put together. Some red and white tape along the knob. Swing and a miss at a ball low. Solid pitch from Myers, who has an opportunity to put the dart in this inning and give Butler an opportunity to come up in the bottom of the 5th. And will be Margroff, Wickman, and Gargano. The 0-2. Couldn't get him on the high heat. Enticing, but 1-2. Sorelli at first, Hogan over at second. Myers looks in from the stretch. Over at third, Matos hugs the third base line. Everybody else set up normally. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Myers with the K. His first strikeout since the top of the first. He's got 3 of them. And maybe that'll change up the momentum just a bit. It's 3-0. St. John's with the lead. Butler coming up in the bottom of the 5th. Right here, butlersports.com and YouTube.
For your Bulldogs in the bottom of inning number 5, center fielder number 12, Jacob Margroff.
Beautiful day at Bulldog Park. The Butler Bulldogs trail the St. John's Red Storm 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it doesn't get any easier. Ian Murphy has struck out 7 of the last 9 batters he has faced as Jacob Margroff digs in and takes ball 1. Margroff, a victim of a backwards K in the 2nd inning, and that started the run of 7 of 9. Right down the middle for a strike. It's 1-1. So 3-0 in the 5th. And there's continued throwing in the St. John's pen, but right now Murphy about as locked in as you can get, and you can tell by how quickly he is working. Actually, that was one of the first times really he has stepped off the rubber to collect his thoughts. Now he's back for a 2-1. Outside 3-1. Usually today, he has gotten the ball back in that tan glove and ready to fire again. As here's the 3-1. Showing bunt Margroff, and it's a little high for ball 4.
Number 8, the shortstop, Jonah Wickman.
That's going to be the 4th time today that Butler has had the leadoff man on. The 3rd time from a free pass. And Jonah Wickman, who was busy at shortstop making a couple plays in the top of the 5th, will get an AB here. He was down on 3 pitches in the 3rd, striking out swinging. One hit for Butler, but plenty of free passes to get on base as Wickman takes a strike. St. John's middle infield at double play depth. Just a gentle breeze from center. Again, really nothing has impacted or hurt a baseball's flight. The 0-1 with the runner faking from first. It's right down the middle for strike 2. St. John's can get their record back to a game under 500 with a win here in Game 2 as that smoked over the glove of the second baseman Bartels for a base knock. The throw from right field ends up tracking into shallow left. But really no option for Margroff to advance to third. Butler will take it 2 aboard with nobody out to start the bottom of the 5th inning, and now St. John's might start to think about how long they want to keep Murphy in there, who, again, those 7 Ks, but they come at an expense that you start to use your best bullets a little earlier in the game. And maybe that's what they'll do. Timeout called. No notion to the pen just yet, but it will be the leadoff man, James Gargano, to step up. A lefty working in the St. John's bullpen, a slow walk to the mound at that. And we'll see what they do. Shannon Bunger, the home plate umpire, is not notioned towards the mound yet, and now he will take a few steps and now go to the mound. In the meantime, Dave Schrag having a quick meeting with James Gargano, who has been aboard twice. Walked in the first, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and Ian Murphy is going to stick on that mound for a righty-righty matchup against James Gargano. Gargano, 277, 14 driven in this year. Trying to come up big in the leadoff spot as he shows bunt. Pulls back and takes ball 1. So we won't really know unless he does it again if he meant to get something down there as Dave Schrag a new set of signs. (3-0 St. John's. The tying run at the plate as Gargano shows again. Corner infielders charge in and he pulls back for ball 2. That southpaw in the St. John's pen continues to work, definitely at a more aggressive pace than we've seen in prior innings when Murphy was cruising. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. Full-fledged swing that time after a couple bunt pullbacks.
Keep supplying all the power, Six. Just meet it.
And again, Dave Schrag changes the signs, or at least as we see. We'll see what the play is. 2-1. Back to a bunt. Pulls back, ball 3. And now a hitter's count. Do you change it up again? This is where that veteran manager comes up big. 3-1. Corner infielder's in. He's swinging. And he drives one in the air towards left center field. It will be playable. Hogan, the center fielder, under it. Fake tagging from second was Margroff. So Gargano scooped it in the air, just kind of towards the wrong position of the field. If that's right center that deep, maybe Margroff has a chance to tag. But with Hogan's arm in center, which has turned out to be pretty nice, no chance is Butler. We'll keep 2 men aboard, first and second, 1 away. And it's Aaron Steinhardt, who maybe has worked the best at-bat today of any Bulldog against Murphy, but it will not be Ian Murphy to face off with Aaron Steinhardt. They go with the lefty-lefty matchup as a southpaw is coming in for the Johnnies. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. It's 3-0 St. John's, 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Aaron Steinhardt, an opportunity to get Butler on the board for the first time in this twin bill. This is Butler Baseball, butlersports.com, and YouTube.
Pitching change for the Red Storm. Taking over on the mound, 28, Jeff Masseau.
Left-hander Jeff Masseau is the new pitcher on for the St. John's Red Storm. It is 3-0. The Johnnies with the lead, but the Bulldogs threatening again. With Aaron Steinhardt coming up, a left-handed batter.
For your Bulldogs, the catcher, 35, Aaron Steinhardt.
St. John's decides to go to their bullpen as Mike Hampton makes the change. Jeff Masseau is a big kid, just a redshirt freshman. Bedford, New Hampshire native, 6'6", 205 pounds. And he inherits a big situation. The tying run is at the plate with Aaron Steinhardt stepping up. Jacob Margroff walked to start the inning. Then a sharp single by Jonah Wickman. James Gargano just flew out to center. And here we are, lefty to lefty, with Butler down 3. Masso's first pitch is a bender that misses outside with some sharp movement, though. 1-0. Masso on the year, 1-1 in 12 1/3 innings. Has allowed 20 runs, but has walked 20, 11 strikeouts. Butler can force some good ABs here against the young lefty. The 1-0. A fastball driven away. Solid contact, though, and I think Masso kind of barked to himself after the pitch. He left that fastball over the heart of the plate. And now a right-hander is working for St. John's, so maybe this could even be a specific matchup with the lefty Steinhardt and Harwood as the 1-2 punch with one away in the fifth. Now the 1-1 from the tall lefty as he looks back at second. High and inside, 2-1. Masso last worked on the 8th against UConn. No decision. 3 innings of scoreless ball, though. I think the big thing for him, he did not walk a batter after walking at least one in every appearance prior this year. He has walked as many as 4 in an inning and a third. Walked 3 in an inning and 2/3 against Creighton a couple weeks back. That's a little inside. It's 3-1. And against Steinhardt, just like he did against Murphy in the last AB back in the third, he struck out looking, but maybe the best at-bat of the day, and he's got a hitter's count here. Numbers are not final, though, for the hard-throwing righty Murphy. Here's the 3-1. Pounded towards left field, dropping for a base hit. Margroff to third. He'll stop there. Bases loaded for Butler. The relay throw drifted away, but the catcher, a nice heads-up play by Wetterau, who did not sleep on the play. If he did, that ball could have carried to the sidewall and allowed Margroff to come in, but now the bases are loaded. The tying run is at first. The go-ahead run is at the plate, and it's Dan Harwood. Tied for the lead in home runs this year. And Mike Hampton is going to stick with his southpaw after the solid single by Aaron Steinhardt, who is 2 for 3. Margroff at third, Wickman at second. It's Steinhardt at first with the big lefty Harwood at the dish. 3-0 St. John's. Right down the middle for strike one. But again, on Masso, I'm guessing that when you're a young pitcher, especially a young lefty, when you come in these specific situations and you walk at least one guy, sometimes as many as 4, in each of your outings on the year, then you work a clean 3 innings against a team like UConn with no walks. That's quite the confidence booster for the lefty from New Hampshire. It's 1-1 now to Harwood. Grounded into a double play in the first, even though he hit the ball hard. Walked in the third. Masso kicks and fires for the 1-1. Pounded back towards us. Now it's 1-2.
You're right, 41.
Still just one away.
Stay inside the baseball and drive. You got it.
Masso hops on the rubber the same time with every pitch. He climbs the mound from the third base side and hangs that left arm, works off the third base side of the rubber, and now we're ready for a 1-2, a very important pitch. And here it is. Harwood, a little grounder towards second, 6-4-3, the double play. The scoop at first, an outstanding one by Foles. And St. John's gets out of it on one of the better 6-4-3 scoops you'll see.
After 5 complete, St. John's.
Big time pitch by Jeff Masso, the young lefty, who gets the double play. Second time that Harwood has grounded into a twin killing. It remains 3-0 as we head to the 6th from Bulldog Park. Right here, ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
for the Red Storm to start the 6th inning, the catcher, 34, Colin Wetterow.
The starting pitcher for the St. John's Red Storm, Ian Murphy, owes Jeff Masseau something quite a deal. Murphy ends the day 4 1/3 innings, no runs. He walked 4, but he struck out 7. And Jeff Masseau on that 6-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the 5th kept that clean sheet for Murphy. If a couple came across the score, they would have been charged to the St. John's right-hander. But Masseau, redshirt freshman, impressive pitch to force the double play, and even more of an impressive scoop by the first baseman for the Johnnies, and Justin Foles. They're saying in the booth here, that throw from second could barely see it being thrown on the relay. But Foles able to stretch, dig it, and prevent Butler from scoring. It remains 3-0. Jack Myers, no runs of support just yet. He worked a clean 5th inning. Struck out Marty Higgins to end the frame, and now it's Colin Wetterow, the catcher, who looked at that one for a ball down low. It's Brendan King with you, ButlerSports.com and YouTube. Was a bright, sunny afternoon. Some cloud coverage over Bulldog Park now, but a bunch of patches of blue sky. The 2-2. Jammed him, and a bouncer towards first. It hit the bag. It's a fair ball. And the underhand flip by Bennett over to Myers for the 3-1 putout.
Right fielder, number 5.
Well, not sure how many more prime-time grade A opportunities the Dogs will have. They were able to chase Ian Murphy out of the game. And again, the lefty Masseau did his job in a big way. With the clouds, the breeze also picking up, blowing from center towards right center. That's a foul ball off the bat of Vincent Bianchi, who has 2 of the 3 St. John's RBIs. Single in the 2nd and a sac fly in the 4th inning. And Bianchi, he did not play in Game 1 of the doubleheader. The 0-1 from Jack Myers. Ground ball towards short. Took a really bad hop on Wickman. He stuck with it in the dirt. Bennett can't handle it as it dribbles into right field. Now Wickman dug the ball very nicely at short, but then tripped. Delivered a spike in the dirt, and Bennett did everything he could to handle it while keeping that right foot on the bag. Unfortunately, Bianchi reaches for a 3rd time, or productive at-bat for the 3rd time. He's on base for a 2nd. That sac fly in the 4th. Definitely a tough call on the scoring of that. Just because Wickman made a heck of a play at short and then bounced that throw in. Swing and a miss at a ball low by Chris Conniff. Myers completely fooled him on a change. It is a single for Bianchi, who hit the ball hard.
Keep rolling ground balls. Here we go, kids.
But Myers is getting what he needs. He's had 2 ground balls to start the inning. So even though that is a hit on the tall right-hander Jack Myers, not necessarily a bad thing. That's pounded in the left, past the stretching shortstop Wickman. That's a true base knock. Back-to-back singles for the Johnnies in the 6th. And back to the top of the order for as well as St. John's has performed today in this doubleheader. Again, winning Game 1 9-0. They're up 3-0 here. Carson Bartels, maybe their best hitter, has not been a true part of it. He's 0 for 3 today. A chance to turn it around here with 2 aboard. 3 runs on 7 hits for St. John's. There's a strike. Looks like the Butler bullpen will get working. Couple guys jogging out as Jack Myers hanging along here. Worked a 1-2-3 inning in the 1st and the 3rd. Allowed 2 runs in the 2nd. Had to use a lot of pitches. Same thing in the 4th. Was able to rebound. There's a Grounder towards third, 5-4, and that's all they'll get. The throw from Matos towards second. Took McGrath just slightly off the bag, kind of shaking up his momentum to try and get the relay throw to first.
Number 6, center
So
fielder.
Bartels will reach on the 5-4 fielder's choice. Bianchi to third. Out at second is Conniff. Now it's Ryan Hogan. Hogan is 0 for 3. Reached on an error in the fifth. And a force at second with 2 away. But St. John's up 3-0. Another run 90 feet away, and that plunks Hogan in the back. Took a bender to the back. And obviously, Jack Myers kind of took a look at Hogan, who might have said something on the way out of the box. And usually benders are not the pitch you throw on purpose towards somebody.
Left fielder, 23, Brian Morrow.
And Dave Schrag will make a slow trip to the mound. The bases are loaded with 2 away, and he has just made the notion towards the pen. So, the Bulldogs will have a new arm on the rubber, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back, but they won't inherit a tough situation as Schrag still has not taken the ball from Myers. Actually, he's going to leave him in. I thought he made the notion with his right hand. Guess not. So Myers will face Brian Morrell with the bases loaded. So a dangerous hitter up with the bases juiced. In this situation, Myers would take anything. It's fly out, ground out, strike out. Trying to get out of this jam. Bases loaded. That's pounded towards center. Margraf leaps and makes the catch. His first step was in, which can be very dangerous sometimes, but Margraf, with every ounce of height he had, every inch of height he had, reached to make the catch.
And you can catch the dogs.
Big time catch. It keeps Butler within the game. If that flies over his head, it is easily a bases clearing triple and maybe even an inside the Parker. 3-0 it remains, heading to the bottom of the sixth right here, ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
ButlerSports.com. Leading off the home half of the sixth inning for your Bulldogs, that's third baseman, number 7, Reddy Matos.
A couple inches away from possibly an inside the park grand slam. But the Butler Bulldogs center fielder Jacob Margraf leaping and making the catch on a line drive knock by Brian Morrell to end the sixth inning. Jack Myers got out of the jam after the trip to the mound by Dave Schrag. And Butler's still down 3-0, even though they left a few men aboard in the bottom half of the fifth. They'll again face the tall lefty Jeff Masseau. Masseau forced the 6-4-3 double play to get out of the 5th inning, and all credit to the first baseman for St. John's, Justin Foles, and the stretch he made to field the ball in the dirt. What a dig. And it's tough for Freddie Matos there as he fouled that one right off of his body. He'll try and shake it off. So Jack Myers with 6 complete innings. We'll see what Dave Schrag is thinking for the 7th. Still a long way to go. We're playing 9 innings here in Game 2 of this twin bill. Breaking ball just missed from Masseau. It's 2-1. Lefty to lefty. Pitch to Matos upstairs for ball 3. And if you're just joining us, Butler fell in Game 1 of the doubleheader 9-0. Maybe the best shot for the Dogs. And their half of the 5th. That's foul tipped again by Matos. Loaded the bases. Got starter Ian Murphy out of the game. All runners on base. 2 of the runners on base were his responsibility. Aaron Steinhardt had a sharp single off of Jeff Masseau, the tall lefty on the mound right now. But Masseau again got out of it with the 6-4-3 twin killing. That's ball 4 to Matos. Interesting trend for Butler today. In 4 of the 6 innings this afternoon, they've had the leadoff man on courtesy of a walk. 5 total times they've had the leadoff man on. The other occasion was when James Gargano hit by a pitch. Matos takes his lead off of first, and Bennett looks at ball 1. A right-hander working for St. John's in their bullpen. From what we figure, Butler's bullpen is also working. Can't see that down the left field line.
Have a plan up there, 3.
Andy Bennett walked in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 4th. It's 1-1 on the Bulldog first baseman. Middle infield for St. John's at double play depth. A gap on each side between 3rd and short and 2nd and 1st. 2-1. Brady McGrath stands on deck as, again, Butler just trying to get one across. That can change a whole lot. You can get the momentum on your side. Believe that's a foul tip off of Bennett. Well, we'll see. So he went around. They appealed towards the base umpire. That is Craig McCarty. And Dave Schrag is checking on Bennett now. So the call is that Bennett went around on the swing. He may have gotten hit, and even if he did get hit, which it looks like he did, if you go around, you go around. And Bennett looks like he'll be all right. So he'll stick around. It's 2-2. And that's the correct call. If the umpires determine that a batter swung on a check swing that even hits the guy, you're out of luck. 3-0 St. John's. The sun begins to poke back out again here as we get later into the afternoon. The 2-2 and fouled away. You can see Bennett wears that addition on his helmet that so many players are going to nowadays, that cheek protector. Of course, originated in the big leagues. You know, guys like Javier Baez, Mike Trout started wearing those. Got popular. That's a little low. It stretched into the minor league game, for example. Guys started bringing it about. I can tell you, when I was broadcasting for the South Bend Cubs, we had a talented catcher named Miguel Amaya. He's now the number 1 prospect in the Cubs organization. Here's the 3-2. Low ball 4. And Bennett reaches back-to-back walks to open the 6th. But to finish up the story,
Number 2, Brody McGrath.
Miguel Amaya, who is now the Cubs' number 1 prospect, was becoming friends with Wilson Contreras, the Cubs' starting catcher. And Contreras wears that cheek addition on his helmet. He's like, where can I get one of those? And Contreras is like, I'll hook you up. Well, and then that was before it was readily available for stores, and now even kids wear them nowadays. That really originated with some guys in the big leagues. It kind of looks cool and also protects you. More and more guys going to that. Two aboard for the Dogs. Nobody out in the 6th. It's 3-0. Corner infielders possibly in, expecting a bunt. And it's Brady McGrath at the dish. Brody McGrath, I beg your pardon. He shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike. 0-1 on Brody McGrath. Nine multi-hit games this year. That leads the club. McGrath 0 for 2, a line out and a pop out. How about this in 13 Big East games, McGrath is hitting .375. Could come through big here. It's 0-1. But he shows bunt again. It dribbles, foul. And 0-2. So, with the risk of striking out with another foul bunt, see what McGrath decides to do. Dave Schrag kicks some dirt along third. Lefty to righty as McGrath balances that bat on the right shoulder. Bends the knees slightly, a little choked up too with 2 strikes. Corner infielder's now back, and the 0-2. Way outside. I don't think that was a pitch out either. Again, Masseau walks onto the mound the same way every time. Walks off the third base side, then back up again with that left leg first. The 1-2 to Brody McGrath. He took a high heater and laced it foul right on the ground. And we'll do it again. Masseau ready. Second baseman creeps towards second. Now drifts back. The 1-2. That's tomahawked in the air. Left side. And running out of room yet again was the third baseman Higgins. Couple looks at second by Masseau, and the 1-2. Outside again. Masseau has struggled with that release point a few times in this at-bat. A lot of times that's what it boils down to, the release point when you're missing well outside and even into the opposite batter's box. 2-2. Robbie McCarger's on deck. A throw to second. Kind of floated in there. No real shot to get Freddie Matos. And Masson hangs that left arm. 2-2 with nobody out. Just foul tipped at the plate. Just getting a piece, too. Somehow McGrath stays alive. It'll see at least one more pitch. This is also bumping up the pitch count of Masson. St. John's had the right-hander working in their pen. He has since sat down. So for now, this is Masson's sixth. After Ian Murphy went the first 4 1/3, not allowing a run, striking out 7. Another 2-2, way inside in the dirt. And now Brody McGrath has forced it full. Fresh set of signs from Dave Schrag. This also gives the Butler bullpen more time to work. If indeed Jack Myers, his day is done, he's got a complete 6. But Butler just needs to plate 1. A lot can happen after you get the first. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a high heater. And Masson again finds a way. Now Butler will call a pinch hitter.
Pinch hitting for your Bulldogs, number 10, Matt McElwain.
It's Matt McElwain. McElwain played in game 1 of the Twin Bill, went 2 for 2. Now hitting .345 on the campaign. Couple ribbies this year. He's got 2 aboard for himself and 1 away. First pitch, a little upstairs to the tall hitting McElwain. It's interesting, McElwain straight up in the batter's box. Brody McGrath really bends those knees. A different look for the tall lefty Masson. He holds the bat near the right ear. Same spot, same result, a little high. It's 2-0. Three 0 St. John's. 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Butler, no runs. They've had 3 hits. They've made 3 errors on the day. First and second, 1 out. And that's a strike. This seems to remain Masson's inning. As again, a doubleheader tomorrow, so both clubs trying to play either strategy or just conserve their big arms. 2-1 is also a strike. At the knees, inside corner, says Shannon Bunger. Now 2-2 on McElwain, who is in the spot of Robbie McCarger, the designated hitter. Jacob Markgraf's on deck. 2-2 hits him right on the hip. He'll toss the bat. And the bases are loaded for the Butler Bulldogs for a second consecutive frame. Jacob Markgraf will step in. He led off the 5th inning with a walk, the same way 4 other innings have started today. But the last time the Butler Bulldogs had the bases loaded, a 6-4-3 double play. Dan Harwood grounded into the twin killing, but again, all credit went to the St. John's first baseman. What a play and what a scoop by Justin Foles. But another pinch hitter will be used by the Dogs.
Number 9, Duncan Hewitt.
Duncan Hewitt grabs a bat. And Hewitt went 1 for 4. He struck out once in game 1 of the doubleheader. Big opportunity for one of Dave Schrag's more reliable bats. Hewitt's been around the program a long time, but he will not face the lefty Massot, a new right-hander into the game for St. John's. And we stand in the same position we were last inning. The bases are loaded. It's 3-0 St. John's. Game 2 of the doubleheader from Bulldog Park. My name is Brendan King. We'll take a break. Back in a moment to tell you about the new pitcher and the situation. Butler, an opportunity to tie and ultimately take the lead. This is Butler Bulldog Baseball on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Pitching change for St. John's. Taking over on the mound, 45, Nick Guzzi. For your Bulldogs, number 9, Duncan Hewitt.
Duncan Hewitt, the Butler Bulldog pinch hitter, will stand inside the right-handed batter's box. One away in the bottom of the 6th inning. Butler's down 3-0, and they'll face a new right-hander. It is Nick Guzzi, the freshman from Point Pleasant Borough, New Jersey. 6'3", 200 pounds. First team All-State selection in high school. First pitch, tails outside. Marks the end of the day for the lefty Jeff Massot. An inning, 1 hit, 2 walks, a strikeout. But all runners on base are Massot's responsibility. So that run total is not final, and Duncan Hewitt could put a serious blow in that run total if he can come through here. 1 out. Hewitt pinch hitting for Margrove. Guzzi's pitch is popped high in the air. Right side of the infield. The second baseman, Bartels, will make the grab, and Guzzi, just a freshman, seems to have no problem in that big situation, facing the veteran Hewitt.
Shortstop, number 8, Jonah Wakeman.
On him, mate. Pressure's on him.
So Hewitt pops out. It's up to Jonah Wickman, who singled in the 5th. He was left on base with the bags juiced. And Butler at risk of doing that for a second time. Swing and a miss. Guzzi with the stir-up Red Sox. Works off the first base side of the rubber. His motion is a lot longer than the starter, Ian Murphy. Murphy had a very simplified kick, quick to the plate. There's a lot more going along in Guzzi's motion from the stretch. Higher leg kick, reaches back a little bit further. It's 1-1 on Jonah Wickman. Guzzi kind of comes at you at the 3/4 release as well. Not necessarily sidearm either. Really gets down, kind of like he's hitting the way he bends the knees. That scoop towards left, but making the catch is the shortstop, Conniff, and for a second consecutive frame, Butler leaves him loaded. Wickman lines out to the shortstop. It looked like that might have just floated. If it could have floated a little bit farther, Butler could have been in business, but it remains 3-0 heading to the 7th on ButlerSports.com and YouTube. Jack Myers back to the mound for the Butler Bulldogs. 99 pitches into his afternoon, 69 strikes. And we'll see how long he can go. That was a long bottom of the 6th inning, and a lot of times that translates into a starter being knocked out of the game just because of sometimes when you let that arm get too cold, it's tough to go back out there. But Myers is back, and the tall right-hander delivers a little low to Justin Foles. It's Foles, Cirelli, and Higgins here in the 7th. And we'll see how long the leash is on Myers. And he's jammed a nice pitch, but it's popped out of play. John Shoup, the freshman, now in center, after Margroff was pinch hit for by Duncan Hewitt. The pitch from Myers, trying to paint right at the knees, was Steinhardt, but could not get the call. It's 2-1.
Also a strike.
That's a little outside. 3-1.
Those are strikes. Figure it out.
Base is empty. Nobody out here in the 7th as the pitch from Myers. Foul tipped at the plate off the bricks of the backstop. And it's gone full. On the big lefty, Justin Foles, he's 1 for 3, but his biggest impact of the game, not at the plate, it's digging out the 6-4-3 double play that we saw left the Butler Bulldogs with the bases loaded in the 5th. They've done that for 2 consecutive innings. That's barreled in the air towards shallow center. Coming in is the new center fielder, Shoup, and he'll make the catch. The ball just finds you.
35, designated hitter, Nick Cirelli.
Now Nick Cirelli. And this would sure save Dave Schrag some bullpen worries for the doubleheader tomorrow if Myers can pound through another frame here in the 7th. A nice changeup fools Cirelli as he swings and misses. Myers just has not been able to grab any run support on the afternoon. A little low on the 0-1. Butler will play Cirelli straight up. That's golf towards short. On one knee is Wickman. Long throw, good throw, and he gets him 2 away. And now the batter is the third baseman, Marty Higgins. Higgins reached on an error in the second, singled in the fourth. He scored on both of those occasions. Bender drops in for a strike on Higgins. Check swing, ball outside, no swing, says the first base umpire, Kevin Conder. As Matos at third plays in. Bright and sunny again on the field after that cloud coverage in the middle innings. That's low for ball 2. 2-1. The catcher, Colin Wetterow, stands on deck, but his knee guards are on just in case that Higgins makes the third out here. Nick Guzzi looks like he'll begin his first full frame of work. The freshman able to get out of the bases loaded jam. Got 2 outs worth. Swing and a miss. Or foul tip at the plate, I beg your pardon. It's 3-2. Guzzi also getting out of the frame means that Jeff Masseau does not take any damage to his earned run average. So Masseau helped out Murphy, and now Guzzi ends up saving Masseau. Breaking ball just a little inside, and Myers, who has argued the strike zone a couple times today, walks Higgins, and Wetterow will have to take off the catcher's gear after all. Third time on for Higgins.
The catcher, 34, Colin Wetterow.
Back him up.
Wetterow stands in 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Two away, solid lead off at first from Higgins. Breaking ball strike. Runner fakes from first. That fastball stays high to Wetterow. Bounced foul. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Righty to lefty. Myers trying to work a 7th consecutive frame. That's belted. A drifting foul.
Attack. Here we go, kid.
Butler trying to keep this lead at 3. Wetterow says that hit him, but won't get the call. 2-2. And if you're just joining us, the Bulldogs have left them loaded for 2 straight innings. Myers looks back at first. Runners moving this time. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Strike 3.
For the Red Storm in the top of the 7th.
Jack Myers, 4 strikeouts on the day. Butler will try and get him off the hook Again, they've left them loaded for 2 straight innings. It's stretch time from Bulldog Park. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 3-0 Johnnies on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Leading off the Butler half of the 7th inning, left fielder number 6, James Gargano.
Butler Bulldogs down to their final 9 outs in Game 2 of this twin bill. It's 3-0 St. John's. Brendan King with you, ButlerSports.com and YouTube. Butler has only faced underclassmen St. John's hurlers today. As Gargano lays down a bunt, fielding is the pitcher Nick Guzzi. The throw to first is in time as Gargano tried to fool everybody and get the bunt down. That'll field just 1-3. Mark that 8 outs to go for Butler. Trying to avoid being shut out for a second consecutive game on the day. Now it's Aaron Steinhardt, and Steinhardt mentioned this earlier. He has worked 2 of the better at-bats you will see today. Now, he struck out looking in the 3rd inning as Guzzi's pitch is a little inside, but he made the starter Ian Murphy work in a big way that continued the inning, made him use some bullets, and ultimately got fooled. That's all credit to Murphy. But then in the 5th, singled as Butler loaded the bases. So he was the first batter that Jeff Masseau faced. It was a sharp single in the left. But then that 6-4-3 inning-ending twin killing prevented anything else from happening. Steinhardt looks at ball 4 and a quick 4-pitch walk. He's on for a 3rd time.
The right fielder, 41, Dan Harwood.
One away here in the bottom of the 7th. And Stan Harwood taking outside. And when you're facing underclassmen arms, working good ABs is a must, especially when you need runs in a hurry. As the bullpen for St. John's is working yet again. Nick Guzzi is the 3rd pitcher for the Johnnies today, and Jack Myers just worked his 7th consecutive frame as the Bulldog starter. So we'll see how that sets up for tomorrow. Again, a doubleheader played here at Bulldog Park. With rain expected on Sunday. There's a strike to Harwood. 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock the scheduled times. Packed day in Indy tomorrow. The Lakers in town to play the Pacers. It's the GMR Grand Prix at the Speedway. Doubleheader here at Bulldog Park. Indianapolis Indians, their season has started. That's flown towards shallow center. It's playable for Hogan, who makes the grab. It's up to Freddie Matos here in the 7th.
The third baseman, Freddie Matos.
Dave Schrag, a quick conversation with Shannon Bunger, the home plate umpire. Not sure about exactly what. As Freddie Matos gets ready to bat here in the 7th. I think Dave Schrag is saying that when Nick Guzzi comes set, he is balking. As he made the notion with his two hands. I think he just wanted an explanation of why maybe a couple occasions have been not called a balk. We'll keep an eye out for that. That'd be interesting to watch. So here's Matos. Swing and a miss. We'll see if Coach Schrag mentions again what he exactly is doing. Oh, I see what he's doing. He puts his hand in his glove to set up the baseball and then takes it out, then sets up. And I think Coach Schrag is saying that's a balk. There's a strike, 0-2. So watch here. So Coach Schrag is saying he's set there, and then that's what he's saying. That's fouled away. Remains 0-2.
Don't chase, Seven. Don't chase.
The 1-2 is in the dirt. Runner moving towards second, and he'll get there safely. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Freddie Matos at the dish. A runner in scoring position. Again, you get one across. That changes a whole lot. Held away. We'll do it again. Another kick in the fire from Guzzi, just off the outside corner. He thought that was strike 3. Chattering his teeth almost. Two and 2. As Matos waves that bat near his left ear. Off of second is Steinhardt. Outside, ball 3. And the St. John's bullpen is up. Well, Mike Hampton is content using his pen here on this Friday before another twin bill tomorrow. That's roped foul. It's gone full on Matos. Wind now blowing out from center field. Outside, ball 4. Great at bat, Freddie Matos. 2 walks in the inning.
The first baseman, number 3, Andy Bennett.
Butler has walked 8 times on the day. He's also been hit by a pitch twice, so that's 10 times that Butler has been on, courtesy of St. John's pitcher mistakes, rather than just hits. 2 away. The batter is the first baseman, Andy Bennett, another lefty. The tying run again at the plate as Bennett takes strike 1. First and second, 2 away. Dancing off the second base bag is Steinhardt. Guzzi misses. It's 1-1. So for a third consecutive frame, Butler has a chance to load the bases, and they've left them juiced the last 2 innings. Can Schrag's crew come through here? 1-1, a big bouncer towards the second baseman Bartels. Throw to first, that's in time. And 2 more left on base by the Bulldogs. Score that 4-3 on the fielder's choice. We go to the 8th. It's 3-0 St. John's on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Pitching change for your Bulldogs. Taking over on the hill, number 15, Greg Gilbert. Leading off the top of the 8th inning for St. John's, right fielder, number 5, Vincent Bianchi.
We head to the 8th. Vincent Bianchi leads off the frame for the St. John's Red Storm. The 3rd straight inning that Butler has left at least 2 men on base. It's Greg Gilbert into the game for Butler, 6'3", 185-pound right-hander, the junior from Westerville, Ohio. He comes in after 7 strong innings from the Bulldog starter, Jack Myers. Myers is on the hook, but a few of those innings, he shut St. John's down pretty nicely, as that's a strike to Bianchi. Situation could be different for Myers if he was able to grab some run support, but again, he'll need his team to come through with a few to get him off that hook. A little bouncer that scoots towards the second baseman. Going to be a tough play and no play for McGrath. That ball also kind of changed directions on the infield grass when Brody McGrath was charging. That'll be an infield single for Vincent Bianchi, who has had a productive at-bat every time up. He's 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Also has an RBI sac fly. 3-0 St. John's. First pitch from Gilbert stays high on Chris Conniff. No record for Gilbert on the year. 5 innings thrown, 4 runs allowed. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. One 1-0 on the lefty Chris Conniff. Back to the top of the order after with Bartels on deck, as he's late on that heater and shoots it foul. Now foul the other way, and it's 1-2. So again, St. John's can get themselves back to a game under 500 if they can hold on for the win here. They would be 17-18, 8-13 in the Big East, and would improve their road record to 5-10. So the Red Storm have struggled as of late. This is an interesting stat. If St. John's finishes with a losing record this year, it would only be their second since World War II. The second time they finished with a losing record. As that's in the dirt, it'll go all the way to the rain tarp. Bianchi will take second, and he's going to try for 3. Here's the relay throw in from McGrath, and a diving effort at third, and thankfully there was, by Matos as he went diving for that ball in the dirt. If not, Bianchi would have easily scored. So mark that a 2-base error on the pitcher, Gilbert. E1. And Conniff now, with Bianchi 90 feet away, a chance to drive in St. John's 4th run. As that's roped in a right, and it is 4-0. A lot of times with these leads, 3-0, 4-0, you want to get it to a point where a team cannot tie it on one swing of the bat. Obviously, Butler, who had loaded the bases in the 6th and the 7th and left them juice, and then 2 in the 8th. If St. John's is able to stretch this to maybe 5-0, again, you feel a lot more comfortable if you can not have the threat of a team loading the bases and tying a game or leading a game with one swing. And Butler, with multiple guys tied with 5 home runs apiece this year.
Second baseman, number 3, Carson Bartels.
That is a threat. Runner moving from first. Big swing and a miss by Bartels. Throw to second is late. I beg your pardon, they got him. They get him. So Chris Conniff caught stealing Good throw by Steinhardt. And now one away in the 8th. So that keeps this game for now at 4-0. Butler can still tie it on one swing, but again, they just need the opportunity again to do so. Line foul. Gilbert's pitch is high and away. 1-2. As mentioned, Johnnies have had an interesting year. They have not won a series since starting the year 7-0. Bartel's line's foul and stays alive. A ball and 2 strikes. And it hits him. So Bartel's will reach for a second time. He was on board in the 6th on a 5-4 fielder's choice, and now hit by a pitch.
The center fielder, number 6, Ryan Hogan.
Double play could end the frame for Butler. It's Ryan Hogan at the dish. Hogan has been one of the more reliable Red Storm players all year for Mike Hampton. It's the Big East Player of the Week earlier in the year. In the lineup every day nearly out of Kingston, Pennsylvania. 0-1, a tapper back to the mound. Gilbert to second for 1. On the first, in the dirt. And unable to handle was Bennett. So they get the force. Call that 1-6 as Hogan reaches. Bartel's out at second. So 2 away now in the 8th. Butler with 6 outs remaining in this ball game. Trying to make use of them as, again, combined in the last 3 innings, 8 men left on base. Now Brian Morrell, the ND transfer. Morrell was also a talented pitcher in high school. Was a 35th round pick of the Phillies, as I told you earlier. He threw 6 no-hitters in high school. Now a full-time outfielder. There's a strike. That's pounded towards right. Going to be a tough play for Harwood. He makes the catch on the run. Morales drove the ball a few times, but each of them, the Butler outfield, has tracked down. Morrell 0 for 5 here in Game 2 of the doubleheader as well. St. John's grabs a run. It's 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. From Bulldog Park on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
ButlerBulldogGear.com. The official online shop offers a wide variety of products, including items you can customize specifically to show your support of Butler baseball. That's ButlerBulldogGear.com. change for the Red Storm. Taking over on the mound, number 11, JoJo Rodriguez. Leading off the home half of the 8th inning for your Bulldogs, the second baseman, number 2, Brody McGrath.
6 outs remain for the Butler Bulldogs here in Game 2 of this twin bill against the St. John's Red Storm. Brody McGrath will lead off the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher on for the St. John's Red Storm, and it is JoJo Rodriguez. 4th pitcher on for the day as the Red Storm have thrown Ian Murphy, Jeff Masso, Nick Guzzi, and now Rodriguez. A junior college transfer from Cumberland Community College. He was actually drafted in 2019 out of Cumberland in the 20th round by the Cincinnati Reds, but chose to transfer to St. John's instead, and we'll see what happens in the draft this year. Of course, last season it ended up being 5 rounds, which really changed up some things for guys hoping to hear their name called. Instead, had to sign as a non-drafted free agent in most cases, but now the draft is back to 20 rounds. Rodriguez would have been a final round draft pick if that was this year. Of course, the draft used to be 40 rounds, and you really never knew who was coming from, call it round 25 to round 40. Sometimes you see those dimes a dozen. Rodriguez high to Brody McGrath. That's ball 4. And the trend continues for Butler. Another leadoff walk. That's the 5th time now that an inning has started with a leadoff walk for the Dogs. They trail 4-0 though.
I'm Gilbert. Hi, Gilbert. I'm Gilbert.
Now it's Garrett Gray taking a strike. Gray pinch hitting in the designated hitter spot. As Matt McElwain getting hit by a pitch in the 6th inning when he pinch hit for McCarger. As he swings and misses and golfs for one. To second, the throw is in time. Brody McGrath thrown out at second after the catcher Wetterau blocked the pitch, knocked it in front of him, and delivered a strike. Brody McGrath caught stealing. And quickly 2 strikes on the pinch hitter Garrett Gray. Swing and a miss, strike 3. JoJo Rodriguez has his first K. Quickly 2 down in the 8th. And another pinch hitter after Duncan Hewitt was up in Jacob Margroff's spot in the 6th inning.
Number 40, Lucas Galdoni.
It's Lucas Galdoni. Galdoni, a big left-handed batter. Sophomore steps in. 2 away with the bases empty. Rodriguez, his first pitch, tails inside. Caldoni takes a strike. It's 2-1. Deuce is wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. It's St. John's 4, Butler nothing. As Rodriguez trying for a clean 8th. And he gets it. Back-to-back Ks. As we head to the 9th, St. John's with their final opportunity to add to the lead. As Butler trails 4-0 from Bulldog Park. As you're watching on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Defensively for your Bulldogs, taking over in center field, number 13, Nick Ortega. And leading off the top of the 9th for the Red Storm, first baseman, 25, Justin Fold.
Nick Ortega is the new center fielder for the Butler Bulldogs after John Shoup played there the last couple innings. Greg Gilbert back to the mound for Butler. After the starter Jack Myers, 7 strong innings, a quality start, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. He's on the hook, though, for the loss as Butler trails 4-0. Their final opportunity will come in the bottom of the 9th, and it's Greg Gilbert's job to keep this game right where it is as Justin Fulls leads off the top of the 9th. He'll be followed by Nick Sorelli and Marty Higgins, and a 2-0 start for Justin Fulls. St. John's also trying to continue their strong record against Butler all time, including the Game 1 win. They're 17-3 against the Dogs. All of the meetings have occurred since Butler joined the Big East back in the fall of 2013. And it's interesting that I'm able to call this game because my last broadcast as a student here was a series between Butler and St. John's. That's driven in the air towards right center. Back moving is Harwood towards the track. Going to be a tough play. It falls for a base hit, bounces on the track. The center fielder Ortega will get the ball in, and it's a triple and a leadoff one at that for Justin Fulls. So the offensive performance for the middle of the St. John's lineup continues.
Designated hitter, 35.
The thing is, for St. John's, that's their first extra base hit. First extra base hit for St. John's today. They have gotten it done on singles. They've gotten it done on walks. And now the infield will come in for the Dogs. Nick Sorelli looks at strike 1. As mentioned, May of 2017, my last series here at Bulldog Park was a series against St. John's. And the story has a point. So here's the 0-1. It's a little low. My first baseball gig in pro ball came in Boise, Idaho. I left 3 weeks later to go to Boise, which was the short season A affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Out in that league, the old Northwest League, again before minor league baseball changed things up, as the 1-1 is shot back foul. The Everett Aqua Sox were the short season A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. So we go to Everett, I think it was early July. 8-hour bus ride. The bus rides are awesome out there. And there's a kid named Troy Dixon that's playing for the Aqua Sox. That's inside. Troy Dixon is catching at the time. Of course, you go through game notes. Troy Dixon is a former St. John's Red Storm player. I knew the name rang a bell. Troy Dixon caught all 3 games of that series here at Bulldog Park in that May, and then we end up in the Northwest League. So, of course, when they come to Boise, as that's roped to second and caught. Whew, that's some heat on that one. Brody McGrath was ready, thankfully, with the infield in, and that keeps the runner Foles at third. So when they come to Boise, of course, I have to go introduce myself in the clubhouse and share the story about St. John's being at Bulldog Park that day. It's a small world, that's the thing. Troy Dixon, former Red Storm catcher. That's lined away foul. So Greg Gilbert trying to work out of this thing. After the leadoff triple by Justin Foles, it's 4-0 St. John's. 4 runs on 10 hits. Butler trying to avoid being shut out in both games of the Twin Bill. Now 1-1 on Marty Higgins. A right-hander working for St. John's in their pen. And if they were to use another pitcher, it would be their 5th of the day. That fastball from Gilbert popped the mitt of the catcher Steinhardt. And it's 1-2. The infield is still in. Outfield at normal depth against Higgins, who has been walked. He singled and scored in the 4th. Reshot in air and scored in the 2nd. Slider called, strike 3. Greg Gilbert's best pitch of the afternoon so far. And it caught Higgins looking.
34, the catcher, Colin Wetterow.
Now Colin Wetterow, who is 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. Tell you what, if you keep Foles from scoring here, again, it's cliche, but you still you still have a chance to tie it with one swing of the bat. Butler's loaded the bases twice today. First pitch strike on Colin Wetterow. Righty to lefty. Gilbert from the stretch. A little bouncer up the first base line. It's going to drift foul. And quickly 2 strikes on Wetterow. If he were to reach, it'd be Vincent Bianchi, who maybe has had the best day of any Johnny player. Bianchi's got 3 singles, a run scored, 2 RBIs. One of them on a single, one of them on a sac fly. Big pitch up coming from Greg Gilbert. And now the 0-2. In on the hands, so it's lined away. Smart thinking, but he'll see at least one more pitch. The 0-2. That's hammered towards center. Could be playable as moving back Ortega, and he's got it. So it stays at a 4-run deficit for the Bulldogs. They will take their final opportunity to get on the board and ultimately tie the game and try and prevent St. John's from sweeping this doubleheader. It's Wickman, Gargano, and Steinhardt 2 up in the 9th for the Dogs as they trail 4-0 on ButlerSports.com and YouTube.
Pitching change for St. John's. Taking over on the mound, number 33, Ethan Routson. And the new left fielder is number 10, Tim McHugh.
Last opportunity for the Butler Bulldogs. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Closer Ethan Routson on the mound for St. John's, the fifth pitcher of the day for St. John's as well. So Mike Hampton, yeah, they're playing a doubleheader tomorrow, but they are going to their primary closer, Routson. Routson, another community college transfer, came into the St. John's program from Northwest Florida Junior College. He's from Crystal Lake, Illinois, which is on the north side.
Leading off the bottom of the ninth inning for your Bulldogs, number 8, the shortstop, Jonah.
Routson has actually been to 3 universities in his career. Started at Dallas Baptist down in Texas, then Northwest Florida Junior College, and then finds a way to become the closer of the St. John's Red Storm. 13 appearances, a 1.45 earned run average. Opponents also only hitting a .145 out of Routson. 6 saves so far on the campaign. Jonah Wickman due up first. Awkward swing and a breaking ball low. And that's strike one.
Come on, Nate.
Tim McHugh, the young freshman, is also into the game for St. John's out in left field. Last Sunday against UConn, McHugh was on base 3 times, went 2 for 3 in the game with a walk. Tying inside on Wickman. McHugh also played in game 1 of the doubleheader, went 0 for 3, walked once. Righty to lefty, Routson. Interesting delivery, as that's a strike. It's 1-2. Butler's really seen everything in terms of pitching motions today. You look at the starter in Ian Murphy, who was about as basic as you can get, but easy to repeat like we talked about. Jeff Masseau, the lefty, came at you at an interesting angle. Big, tall guy. Nick Guzzi kind of had a hybrid 3/4. JoJo Rodriguez, pretty traditional. Now Routson kind of looks like he'll come at you submarine and then goes more sidearm. Bends those knees on the mound. That's spanked towards second. Bartles will field. Quick throw, 4-3.
The left fielder, number 6, James Gargano.
Now James Gargano, who tried to bunt his last time up in the 7th inning, got one down, but it was straight in front of the mound. Easy for the freshman Nick Guzzi to field. 4-0 St. John's. Right-hander to right-hander. Gargano takes strike 1. That had some crazy movement on it and even prevented the catcher Wetterau from making the catch. Gargano was on board twice in the first 3 innings, walked and was hit by a pitch. As it's 2-1. Aaron Steinhardt, the catcher, stands on deck. There's a strike on the 2-1. Gargano scoops one towards left center. Out is Hogan as he makes the grab, calling off the new left fielder, McHugh. And the Butler Bulldogs down to their final out of the afternoon. Aaron Steinhardt will bat. Steinhardt has been aboard 3 times and is 2 for 3 in the ball game. Walked last time up in the 7th. Now the story of this one, more so than anything, obviously St. John's has gotten great relief pitching. Also a quality start by Ian Murphy. But the big story is Butler leaving men on base. So far 11 in the game. That's inside to Steinhardt, who backs out of the way. Yeah, it's 1-0. Line straight back by Steinhardt. Again, the doubleheader tomorrow. Hopefully nice weather again. As again, the doubleheader was scheduled because of the threat of some rain on Sunday. And the Bulldogs, pending any crazy late rally here, will try and salvage the series to tie it up 2 games apiece. That's to the backstop again. 2-1. And a trip to Washington, D.C. for Dave Schrag's team against Georgetown, May 20th. That's a 6 o'clock start in the nation's capital. They'll play a doubleheader on Friday the 21st. Saturday the 22nd is getaway day for a 1 o'clock start in D.C. In on the hands and grounded away, foul. 2-2 as the Dogs are down to their last strike. And for the Johnnies, they'll try and win their first series tomorrow. Since early March, they swept UMass Lowell and Sacred Heart. Since then, have not been able to put together a series win. 2-2 on the ground towards second. Bartles has it. Good throw. And the St. John's Red Storm have shut out the Butler Bulldogs ×2. In game 1 of the doubleheader, it was a 9-0 final. 4-0 is your final this afternoon in game 2 in the full 9-inning contest. And the 2 clubs will head back tomorrow afternoon. Again, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock for the doubleheader. You can catch both games right here, butlersports.com and YouTube. Again, what a packed day in Indy tomorrow. Lakers come to town to play the Pacers, GMR Grand Prix at the Speedway. Doubleheader here at Bulldog Park. Indianapolis Indians are at home. Pretty solid. As again, 4-0 the final. Tough break for the Dog starter Jack Myers. 7 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. He unfortunately takes the loss. His earned run average up towards 4.91. Greg Gilbert, 2 innings of work, a run, 3 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout for Gilbert. The win to Jeff Masseau, again the starter, even though he was terrific, and Ian Murphy did not go long enough for the win. 4 1/3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. His season high on Ks is 11, so he did not come close to that marker. But Jeff Masseau with the win, with an inning of shutout work, 1 hit. He walked 3 batters and struck out 1. Again, my name is Brendan King here on YouTube and butlersports.com. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate everybody having me back to campus today. Again, it's a final of 4-0 as the St. John's Red Storm beat the Butler Bulldogs for the 2nd time in 1 day for the doubleheader. Again, both teams back at it tomorrow, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock with another twin bill. Have a safe Friday night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and so long.